Hello! Ophelia, welcome in. I don't know. Where's the pie? Oh, yeah, it looks like pumpkin pie. For those of you who have not met us yet, I am Miss Red, and this is my son.
Hello, I'm Emmy.
Annie Benny. We read kid stories all around the grid to the kid community. We are Kiwi and Lime Storytime. This is really new for me because I am a human today, but usually I am a frog lady. As you can see, Annie is a little frog boy. And that's kind of like our thing. We are the frog people. We have a bog, literally a frog bog, that is visitable. And sometimes we hold events there, but usually we're every which way. And we're really excited. This is our first time hosting events with I Think I Can and the American Cancer Foundation. And we're jazzed to be here and put on events throughout the whole month of October for everybody to participate in. So fun facts about Pink I Can. It is an event to benefit the American Cancer Society and the Strides campaign. It is in their 5th year, and it's taking place from October 2nd all the way until October 29th. And think about it. There are events every day. Like, there's always something to do here. So highly recommend that if you're not already in the group, can get in the group and stay up to date on all the events happening. I will link it in local chat. This year, they have 2 sims connected to the ACS island. One sim, which is across the way, dedicated to the main stage that I was touching on earlier, where there's live music, DJs, dance troops, tributes. We watched a musical last night. That was cool. And of course, game night will be over there. And then a bunch of vendors, special raffles, trick-or-treating, and just a lot of other stuff. And then this sim that we're currently on is for the campsites that are rentable for like 4 weeks at a time, planning events for all the campers that are currently here, given in the Halloween season, and more scheduled events for them as well. All money donated today in the kiosk behind you guys 100% goes towards the American Cancer Society. The vendors on the other sim and the raffles will also be tools that you can donate through. So there's also lots of kid clothes. They fit Toddly Do, BB, Youth, Tweeny Do, and I want to say I've seen a couple for Tweenster. And a lot were kind enough to create matching parent-kid sets, so that is also very cute as well. That's not usually a thing, and I love that. So now you're all caught up on what we're doing here, why we're here, and what we're about to get into. Woo, 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 woo. Who's ready for some stories? Yeah! I'm ready too. I'm glad you're ready as well. Our first book of the evening is Which Bazooza? Written and illustrated by Dennis Nolan. Okay. It was the morning before Halloween. Ooh. The wind howled, oh, and blew leaves about the old house on the hill. Lightning flashed, and a candle flickered in the tower. Which Bazooza had risen early and gone to the tower with her cat Ajax.
She spent over an hour searching through old trunks and boxes when she suddenly held up a large, dusty book. "Here it is, Ajax," she cried. "I found spells and an incantation for the serious witch." She sat down and began reading the chapters called Decorating Your Home for Halloween and Hunting with a Personal Touch. "I just know we can win this contest, Ajax," she said. "There are going to be the spookiest decorations ever. The Witches' Judging Society will just have to give us first prize for having the scariest house."
When she finished reading, she went downstairs to the living room. "Are you ready, Ajax?" she said. "Let's start with the windows." Witch Bazooza raised her wand, wrinkled up her face, closed her eyes, and chanted, "Sounds unheard, words unspoken, may the windows in this house be broken."
Every window in the house shattered at the magical command. Witch Bazooza looked about the room and smiled. Then she wrinkled up her face, closed her eyes again, and chanted a second time, "Rusty hinges and squeaky doors, and then I want some creaky floors."
She ran around the house, making sure all the doors squeaked, and she jumped up and down to test out the floors. "Oh, this is wonderful!" she cried. "Simply marvelous!" Ajax purred in agreement.
"Now, I think the corners need a little something. Witch's hat and witch's broom. I want cobwebs in every room. Oh, yes, and a couple of spiders," she added. "Well, now it's beginning to look like Halloween," she said, as a big black spider ran up the wall.
As she walked up the long, winding stairway, she said, "Let's fix up the tower." She entered the room and chanted once again, "Fuzzy little bats with leathery wings, an owl that hoots, and a ghost that sings." Suddenly the room was alive with the sounds of moaning and wooing and the fluttering of bat wings.
"Oh, dear, I almost forgot," she said, and whirled about chanting once more. "I've got an owl that hoots, and a ghost that moans. Now I need a skeleton with cracky bones." Witch Bazooza and Ajax went back to the living room as Skeleton rattled and banged about.
"Now for the final touch," she said as she moved a table up to the front window. "I need my centerpiece here so everyone can see it when they come trick-or-treating tonight." Once more she wrinkled up her face and closed her eyes. "To finish decorating this old place, I need a pumpkin with a jack-o'-lantern face. Hurry, hurry, Ajax," she said as she rushed out the door. "It should be growing out in the garden." Oh, the garden was mostly bramble, bushes, and old gnarled roses, with a few stick weeds and mushrooms. Only one plant looked fresh and green.
"There, Ajax," she said, the witch pointing at the bright green vine. They ran to the plant, but found that the pumpkin for which Witch Bazooza had chanted was only a cucumber with a jack-o'-lantern face. "Oh, drat! Something must have gone wrong. I'll chant once more. No, no, no. Hear the sound. A jack-o'-lantern must be around."
With that, a big, bright red beet, burst out of the ground. It also had a scary jack-o'-lantern face. Witch Bazooza began to scream and fret and loudly chanted once more, "This thing's wrong. It's all red. Orange is the color of a pumpkin head."
A second later, a fat orange carrot popped out of the ground. Witch Bazooza stamped her feet and on the ground and screamed, "Magic broom and witch's hat, a jack-o'-lantern must be fat."
A vine popped out of the ground and began growing. Witch Bazooza and Ajax followed it, watching it sprout leaves and finally flowers. "Oh, this is it! I just know it!" said Witch Bazooza anxiously.
But the vegetable grew on the end of the vine was a watermelon.
Now Witch Bazooza became wild. She was determined to get that pumpkin. She tried every spell she knew. Soon her garden was overrun with corn jack-o'-lanterns, zucchini jack-o'-lanterns, tomato jack-o'-lanterns, potato jack-o'-lanterns, lettuce, strawberry, and even rutabaga jack-o'-lanterns. Witch Bazooza finally flopped down, tired and depressed.
"Well, we sure won't win first prize now," she said. "Look at my garden. What a mess. And I still don't have a pumpkin. What good is a haunted house on Halloween without a pumpkin? Come along, said Witch Bazooza, walking back to the house. We might as well eat dinner. No trick-or-treaters are going to come to a house without a jack-o'-lantern in the window.
Halloween night came, and Witch Bazooza's house howled with the sounds of the ghost. Skeleton bones clanked as the wind whistled through the broken windows. The floor creaked as Ajax paced around the room. Witch Bazooza sat quietly, watching the bats flutter about.
Just then, she heard a knock at the front door. She raced down the steps from the tower room, across the creaky floors, and pulled open the squeaky door.
"Trick or treat!" said a tiny voice. It was Melissa, the little girl who lived down the street. She was dressed as an angel. Witch Bazooza looked around to see if there was anyone with her. The other kids said it was too scary here, with all the jack-o'-lanterns all over your yard, said Melissa, so I came alone.
Witch Bazooza stepped out into the porch. Candles lit up each of the vegetables, and their scary grinning faces glowed in the dark night. My goodness, it does look rather spooky, doesn't it? Said Witch Bazooza. It sure does, trembled Melissa.
Witch Bazooza dropped a Whoa!
Oh my god.
Whoever that was, you won Halloween. That scared me so bad. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Okay. Welcome in, Jane. Welcome in, everybody. I did. The scream, I scrumped. The scream. Okay. Witch Bazooza dropped a candy spider into Melissa's bag and wished her a happy Halloween. She closed the door and went back to her room. You know, Ajax, she said, looking out the window, this place looks pretty scary, even without a pumpkin.
At midnight, Witch Bazooza was startled by an other's knocker on the door. Oh, now who could that be? She said.
She peeked out, and there stood Head Witch Carissa Bonza, Witch Hepzibah, and Witch Abadabba from Witches' Judging Society. Come in, said Witch Bazooza.
Allow me to present you with the first place trophy, said Head Witch Carissa Bonza. I also wish to congratulate you on your wonderful new decorating idea. Every other house had the standard pumpkin, jack-o'-lantern in their window. Your garden full of faces was so original and unique that we decided to award you first prize.
This is for you, she said, handing Witch Bazooza the trophy. It was a gold pumpkin-shaped cup with a jack-o'-lantern face.
And that's not all, added Witch Hepzibah. As a bonus, your house will be haunted by Sir Reginald Archery Duke's ghost for the entire year. He's the one who clanks his chains and rattles his armor, said Witcher Abababa. Oh, thank you so much, said Witch Bazooza. This is the happiest Halloween ever.
The witches hopped on their brooms and flew off into the night. Witch Bazooza and Ajax watched them go, then took one last look at the garden and closed the door.
The sudden sound of clanking chains and rattling armor made Ajax's fur stand straight. Oh, silly cat, laughed Witch Bazooza. That's just Sir Reginald Archery Duke's ghost.
Witch Bazooza walked across the creaky floor of the living room and placed the trophy cup on the mantel. "Just look at that, Ajax," she said. "We've got a pumpkin after all."
That night, a very happy Witch Bazooza and Ajax slept quite soundly, while Sir Reginald, Archery Ghost, clanked and rattled all his might. The end.
That was great. That was awesome. In the end, she got her pumpkin. I loved it. Welcome in, everybody. Pick a seat, any seat. We got tons of pumpkins and even little fuzzy kitty rats to sit on. Hello, Abby. Up next, we have Raffi Surprise. Ooh, now that is so cute. Raffi Surprise by Julia Hubery and Mi Matsuka. Raffi Raccoon loves his home. He loves the long, swishy grass, the sparkling stream, and the rustling, rippling trees. But best of all, Raffi loves...
Old Father Oak. Raffi was born in an oaky den, high in Father Oak's sturdy trunk. He learned to climb on Father Oak's strong branches in the spring.
And all summer long, Raffi played in the shade of Father Oak's green leaves with his friends Chip and Blackbird.
On the first day of autumn, Raffi woke early, ready to play. He left the morning kiss on his mother's whiskers and tiptoed out to find Chip.
But where were Father Oak's leaves? All Raffi could see was a silvery mist.
When he crept to the end of the branches, he saw that the leaves were still there, but wait, there were a pretty golden leaf amongst the green. Should he pick it? Would Father Oak mind?
Suddenly, the leaf dropped, twirling away in the mist.
Maybe Father Oak wants me to save it, as Raffi scampered after another leaf dropped out of the mist. Then another. 1, 2, 3, 4, more and more. Raffi rushed to catch the leaves, but there were too many.
Was something wrong with Father Oak? The chilly mist made Raffi shiver. Oh, maybe Father Oak was cold too, he thought. So he gathered the leaves and piled them into a blanket over Father Oak's roots. Just then, Chip peeked round Father Oak's trunk.
Raffi, what are you doing? Asked Chip. I'm making a blanket for Father Oak. He's losing leaves because he's cold, answered Raffi. It's a lovely blanket, said Chip. But look, the leaves are still falling. Maybe he's crying? Father Oak must be sad. Let's hug him better, said Raffi.
The friends put their arms around Father Oak and hugged him. But still the leaves fell. Blackbird, come and help us, called Raffi. Father Oak is crying, so let's hug our huggiest of hugs and sing our happiest of songs.
Their singing woke Raffi's mother. What is happening? She asked. Father Oak's crying, all his leaves away, and we're trying to cheer him up, they all cried. Don't worry, little ones, he isn't crying, she said.
He's telling us that autumn is here and winter is coming, Raffi's mother explained. What is winter? They asked. Winter is a cold, dark, sleepy time when all the leaves and flowers hide away, she said. Winter sounds horrible, said Raffi. But without the winter, there would be no room for spring, said his mother. Everything would be tired and always the same.
What shall we do with Father Oak's leaves then? Said Raffi. We'll make our own blankets for our winter sleeps, said his mother. Soon all the animals were busy gathering leaves and food for their winter sleep.
Through golden autumn days they ate and ate until they were fat as could be. "Is it time for our winter sleep yet?" Raffi asked. "Not quite," said his mother. "We still have one more job to do." And she gave Raffi 5 acorns.
We must make beds for them, she said, so that they dug 5 little holes and tucked them snugly in the ground. What will happen? Asked Raffi. They'll sleep all winter just like us, she said. And when spring comes, wait and see.
Then they curled up together in their den, and Raffi's mother sang a winter lullaby until Raffi fell sound asleep.
Snug inside Father's oak, they drowsed away dark days of wind and ice and snow.
One morning, Raffi woke to a tingle in the air. He poked his nose out of his den. Father Oak's branches sparkled with tiny new leaves. "Mummy!" he shouted. "I think it's spring now!" She rubbed the sleepy dust from her eyes and peered out also. "Are our acorns awake yet?" she asked. They peered down, and there, on the ground below, was a wonderful surprise. From each little bed they had dug, 2 tiny oak leaves pushed up into the sun. "Look!" cried Raffi excitedly. "Our acorns have turned to baby oak trees!" "So they have," smiled his mother. "And if you help Father Oak look after them, one day they will become big, big oak trees just like him." The end of Raffi's surprise. Ooh, ooh. I'm going to go plant an acorn now. I'm feeling like that's what we all need to do. We'll just wait until they come down, and then we'll just put little 5 in the ground, and then we'll all report back. Who knows? Maybe we'll grow trees too. Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Ooh, okay. Let's see. What are we doing? All right. I got it.
Which one?
I don't know.
I think we're ready for another witch book.
Another witch book. Okay. Thinking Room on the
Pomegranate
Broom.
Witch.
Ooh, the pomegranate. Yes. Okay, yes. Let me bring that forward. And while we're preparing for the next story, I'm going to give you my a spiel again. Welcome to Can't I Paint I Can. Ooh. It's me, Miss Red. I'm reading stories with my baby, Annie. And what are we here for? To benefit the American Cancer Society and the Strides campaign. Over to any side, you can see a kiosk. All donations made to the kiosk are going 100% to the American Cancer Society. We have raffles, we have vendors, we have events, we have so much stuff, activities on this region and the other region. There's plays, there's DJs, live music, dance troupes, tribute bands, and more. Like this one, like Storytime and game nights and so much more. If you're not already in the I Think I Can group, I highly recommend you get up on in there because that's the best way you'll get the notices about what's going on throughout the day. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's my spiel. All right. All right, Annie. Since you picked the book, you can proceed.
The Pomegranate Witch by Doyen. Or Denise Dayan, my bad. Beyond the edge of town, where the street lights stopped and the sidewalks ended, a small boy spied a farmhouse in the field long unattended.
And before its sagging porch, amid a weedy foxtail sea, found the scary, legendary, haunted pomegranate tree. The gnarled tree loomed high and wide. Its branches scraped the ground. Beneath there was a fort of sorts, with leafed walls all around. Its unpruned limbs were jungle-like, dirt ripple-snaked with roots, but glorious were the big, red, round, ripe pomegranate fruits.
The children whispered secret plans and spoke of desperate measures, delicious dreams of snatching, eating pomegranate treasures. But rarely did they dare because there was a nasty hitch. The tree was owned and guarded by the Pomegranate Witch. The Pomegranate Witch.
No one could see her clearly, mid the dark and shadowed nooks. Still Lore and Pinky swore the dreadful rumors of her looks. Gossip painted her hands green, with twiggy fingers made to scratch, and hearsay said her blood-red eyes stared through the thicker thatch.
But not before the witch's broom had Thistle spanked a rear.
When new kids disbelievers crept up close to listen look, they'd hear the witch cackle as branches shiver shook. And when her raven screamed, those kids would run in fear, but not before the witch's broom had bristles spranked a rear.
And yet the brave kept wandering back. The tree was like a thirst forbidden. Fruit is tempting. Pomegranates are the worst. First one, then 3, then 5. Courageous souls rose to the test, and thus each autumn's pomegranate gang began their quest.
Some clever gangster pranksters dug a foxhole in the field. When they peered below the leaves, witchy workbooks were revealed. Boots, not books. Next, they scavenged broken rackets, rusty rakes, and dead tree limbs. What better tools to yank a pomegranate from its stem?
The witch watched on, a veteran of siege and kinder battle. She'd seen such cardboard lean toss, and she'd heard their aquatic rattle. She knew that soon the gung-ho gang could simply wait no more. So Witcheroo, the witch, declared the pomegranate war.
The pomegranate war. Now hear this, pomegranate gang. I see you in your ditch, high noon tomorrow. Double dared the pomegranate witch. Shocked and scared, caught by surprise, the gang froze firmly rooted. Then 1, then 3, then 5 stood tall, and all of them saluted.
The pomegranate war was on. The troops made preparation. They plotted how to storm a tree and fruit assault formation.
At noon, the watchbird called, "Yee-haw! Yee-haw!" The players took their places. The witch, she hunkered down. The gang spread out at 20 paces.
Charge! The gang dashed forward in a speedy, greedy race. The fastest within reach got blasted, splashed right in the face. Water cannons rushing, gushing from the dozen hoses, wound throughout the spouts washed into eyes and shot up noses. They couldn't see, they couldn't breathe, retreat wet and muddy. Still coughing, someone sputtered, "Grab your bike and you'll rake your buddy."
In caravan the gang embarked on Plan B as agreed, and pedaling down the potholed street the raiders picked up speed.
Then buckets of black walnuts spilled, the witch low pitched them out. As hard as marbles scattered sharp they rolled and bounced about. Then bowled right under, bump, bump, bump. The wheels could not be steered. The riders jumped, their drivers stumped, bikes toppled, wagons veered.
They chuckled their vanquished chariots. They chucked their vanquished chariots, regrouped and reattacked. The big kids held up trash can shields, the small rode piggyback. Worn sneakers shuffled through the nuts, tin armor took the spray. High eager hands reached up to where the pomegranate swayed. The tree! Enchanted tree! It sprang to life with thrashing might. The branches walloped, whacked and slapped. The leaves put up a fight.
The pomegranate danced away from grasping fingers, bushwhacked and palm marauders fled, but one small robber lingered.
For a while the witch pulled on the strings and played mad puppeteer. A sneak thief tiptoed through the gate and crept around the rear. He grabbed a fruit and twisted, jerked, and tugged a dozen tries. Then snap! Off he skedaddled with his pomegranate prize.
His pomegranate, pomegranate, pomegranate prize. "I got one!" yelled the sneak thief. And the foxhole gave hoot. A rushy hammer cracked the husk. A gang split up their loot.
600 sparkling seeds in papery slips kids ripped apart.
Hip, hip, hooray! They won the day. The juice was sweet and tart.
A muffled laugh, a scuffle passed. Things might have ended there, for late that night her harvest plucked, the tree completely bare. But neighborhoods have secrets passed from year to ear to hear. There was one magic evening she was sure to disappear.
On Halloween, the witch flew off. She ventured far away to haunt with ghosts and jump with bats until the break of day. And when she left, a kind insider hid away no more. Each Hallows Eve, the children knew who'd open up the door.
A kindly lady out she'd come, she'd sing and weed the path, and no one blamed the shy soul for her sister's greed and wrath. For when the witch was home, she kept the farmhouse dark and scary, but when the kindly lady reigned, the porch was lit and merry. Her jack-o'-lanterns showed the way with jolly square-toothed smiles. She welcomed trick-or-treaters, "Hello, have some cider, stay a while." She showed them to pet her peacock, lovely feathers, blue and green, and then the kids and lady toasted, "Happy Halloween!"
"Oh dear," the kindly lady gasped and pointed toward the moon. "I saw the witch's shadow pass. You'd best be off now soon."
They swilled sweet dregs of cider. Then the children grabbed their sacks. She gave them each a feather, made them promise to come back. And last, the kindly lady shared the best treat on the planet. In every bag she dropped a big, red, round, ripe pomegranate. "Good night," she called. "I'll not see you till Halloween next year." They left her sweeping up. The sneak thief wiped a parting tear.
They skipped out past the haunted tree. Its branches still and spent. It slept the night the sisters glitch. That's how the story went. And not one child wondered who was who, or which was which, the shy old kindly lady or the pomegranate witch. The pomegranate, pomegranate, pomegranate witch.
The end. The pomegranate witch. That was really good. I like that. I want a pomegranate now. We need to get some acorns. We need to get some.
I want pomegranates so bad.
Okay, so were they twins, or was that her alter ego? Like inside,
I think
just
it
like
was
now,
her all the time.
my pomegranate, and then like Halloween comes and she's like, all right, okay.
I think it was just her the whole time.
I'm thinking you might be onto that because twins. That would be amazing. You know what I mean? In one village, that's rare. I liked it either way. Your poor wee. Hey. Unfair, comma. Okay, what next? The Night of the Ooley Bugs or Room on the Broom?
Sure. The Night of the Ooley Bugs?
Ooley Bugs. That's a good mouth sound. Ooley Bugs. Mm-hmm. Bugs. Ooley Bugs.
I wish TT was here.
I know. We'll have to read this to her. Yes, Nelly. Ooley Bugs. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The Night of the Ooley Bugs. A story by Noodles with Goblins by James. Okay, thank you, Noodles. Hiss, hiss, don't make a sound. The Ooley Bugs are out of the ground.
One night a year, tonight, they frolic in the full moonlight.
They turn themselves inside out
and let a gang of goblins out.
Behind that tree.
See there?
I see. That shadow moved.
Beware, beware.
Beware. Down, quick, into the grass.
And let the wild Ooleys pass.
The Ooley Bugs, the Ooley Bugs, the Ooley Bugs. They're on the hunt. They're prowling now.
Hear them grunt. They're scowling now.
Mooloola, they're howling now. Let me hear your best howl. Come on. Ow! 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 Yes! Ow!
They have sharp teeth.
Their eyes are keen.
Their tempers are short. Their claws are mean.
Mean. Stay hidden, stay hidden. Don't be seen.
This is the might of in-between.
In-between. It's the Ooley Bugs. Halloween. The end of the Night of the Ooley Bugs. Oh, that was scary. If I was an Ooley Bug, let's think about this. No, seriously. We
What
saw
does it look like?
I saw a crab claw, okay? I saw a boar, a crocodile, or maybe perhaps an alligator. I would want mobility if I was an Ooley bug, but the idea of slithering could also be fun. I didn't see a slither though. Maybe a bird. I don't usually go winged creature, but that could be fun. Like a hawk. But that's not a bug. None of those were bugs. Hold on a minute. They were
I
critters.
would be a very cute. What do they call them? Mantis. I would be a very cute mantis.
I like that. A bug with wings. Like a ladybug. Oh, okay, yes, a butterfly. Or a moth. Could be an atlas moth. Animal Crossing taught me that. Hello, welcome in. Hi. Hi.
I think we should have brought my books, Mom.
We got, let's see. Yeah, we got a backup book we could read. Ooh, what was it? The Haunted Mansion?
Yeah, we could read that.
Yeah. That one, yeah. Okay. So we'll go Room on the Broom. And I love this author, Julia Donaldson. She's got amazing work. Some of you may know her from her other famous book called The Gruffalo. Anybody here familiar with The Gruffalo?
Yes, I know that book.
That's her. Love her. She's great. Appreciate you, Julia. Oh, this rollicking rhyming tale is the perfect read aloud for the youngest of listeners. A friendly witch and her animal friends discover that quick wits and teamwork can save a good friendship, even from redacted, because it's secret. Readers will delight in the surprising and not too scary ending. Room on the Broom by Julia Donaldson. The witch had a cat, and a hat that was black, and long ginger hair in a braid down her back. How the cat purred, and how the witch grinned, as they sat on their broomstick and flew through the wind. But how the witch waltzed, and how the cat spat, when the wind blew so wildly, it blew off her hat. The audacity!
Down! Cried the witch, and they flew to the ground. They searched for the hat, but no hat could be found. Then out of the bushes, on thundering paws, there bounded a dog with the hat in his jaws.
He dropped it politely, then eagerly said, as the witch pulled the hat firmly down on her head, "I am a dog. Bark. As keen as can be. Is there room on the broom for a pepperoni like me? Yes! Cried the witch, and the dog clambered on. The witch tapped the broomstick, and whoosh! They were gone.
Over the fields, the forest they flew. In the forest they flew. The dog wagged his tail, and the stormy wind blew. The witch laughed out loud and held on to her hat, but away blew the bow from her braid just like that.
Down! Cried the witch, and they flew to the ground. They searched for the bow, but no bow could be found. Then out from a tree, with an ear-splitting shriek, there flapped a green bird, with a bow in her beak. She dropped it politely, and bent her head low.
Then said, as the witch tied her braid in the bow, I am a bird as green as can be. Is there room on your broom for a bird like me? Yes, cried the witch. So the bird fluttered on, the witch tapped the broomstick, and whoosh, they were gone.
Over the reeds and rivers they flew. The birds shrieked with glee, "Ree! Ree!" and the stormy wind blew. They shot through the sky to the back of beyond. The witch clutched her bow, but let go of her wand. Down! Cried the witch, and they flew to the ground. They searched for the wand, but no wand could be found.
Then all of a sudden, from out of the pond, leaped the dripping wet frog with a dripping wet wand. He dropped it politely, then said with a croak, as the witch dried the wand and folded off her cloak, "I am a frog." "I am a frog, as clean as can be. Is there room on the broom for a frog like me?" "Yes," said the witch, so the frog bounded on. The witch tapped the broomstick, and whoosh, they were gone. Over the moors and the mountains they flew. The frog jumped for joy, and
Ribbity-roo! Just kidding. The broom snapped in two. Down fell the cat and the dog and the frog. Down they went tumbling into a bog. Fun fact, we have a bog. The witch's half broomstick flew into the cloud, and the witch heard a roar that was scary and loud. Roar!
"I am a dragon as mean as can be, and which with French fries tastes delicious to me." "No!" cried the witch, flying higher and higher. The dragon flew after her, breathing out fire. "Help!" cried the witch, flying down to the ground. She looked all around, but no help could be found. The dragon drew near with a glint in his eyes, and said, "Just this once I'll have witch without fries."
But just as he planned to begin on his feast, from out of the ditch rose a horrible beast. It was tall, dark, and sticky, and feathered and furred. It had 4 frightful heads, and it had wings like a bird, and it was terrible voiced when it started to speak. There was a yowl and a growl, and a croak and a shriek. It dripped and squelched as it strode from the ditch, and it said to the dragon, "Buzz off! That is my witch!"
The dragon drew back, and he started to shake. "I'm sorry," he sputtered. "I made a mistake. It's nice to have met you, but now I must fly." He spread out his wings, and off through the sky. Couldn't see. Then down flew the bird, and jumped the frog. Down climbed the cat, and "Phew!" said the dog. "And thank you, oh thank you," the grateful witch cried. "Without you I'd be that dragon's inside."
Then she filled up her cauldron and said with a grin, "Find something, everyone, throw something in." So the frog found a lily, the cat found a cone, the bird found a twig, and the dog found a bone.
They threw them all in, and the witch stirred them well, and while she was stirring she muttered a spell. "Iggity ziggity zaggity zoom!
Zaggity zoom!
Out rose
A truly magnificent broom, with seats for the witch and the cat and the dog, a nest for the bird, and a pool for the frog. "Yes!" cried the witch, and they all clambered on. The witch tapped the broomstick, and whoosh! They were gone. That is so cute. The end. A room on the broom. That's adorable. Oh, I loved that. I want a pond on a broom. I'm gonna have to do that. Okay, we have time for one more story. We're going with The Little Golden Book, The Haunted Mansion. Who here has seen The Haunted Mansion, or have you been to The Haunted Mansion? Because there's a Haunted Mansion in SL, and then there's also one in Orlando, Florida, and California, I believe.
I think I've seen it.
Raises? Nope.
Is that the one with what's his name? Eddie Murphy?
Yes, correct. The
Yep,
best
I've seen
film.
it a bunch of times.
Apparently, they've remade this film. I'm not gonna. I don't know.
They did. I forgot.
Couldn't be as good as
There's a
Eddie
new one.
Murphy's. No way, Jose. In Disney, yes, Soroshi. In Disney World and Disneyland, because Disney World is Florida and Disneyland is California. Oh yeah. We got just a little bit of time. Okay, Jenny. For our last book, we are reading Disney's The Haunted Mansion. Ooh. Adapted by Lauren Klaus, illustrated by Glenn Brogan. Spooky. Yes.
I walk through the iron gates and up the winding path that leads me past some large gravestones when my friend said I should go into the haunted mansion alone. I laughed, but when they dared me, I knew I had to.
After pushing the creaky front door open, I enter a large, round room with portraits lining the walls. Suddenly, the door slams shut, trapping me inside.
Welcome, foolish mortal, to the haunted mansion, says the ominous voice. I'm your host, your ghost host, before my eyes. The wall starts stretching. Then the room goes dark, and I hear a scream in the distance. When the lights come back on, there is an open door in the front of me that wasn't there before.
Now, as they say, look alive, and we'll continue our little tour, the ghost host says as I walk through the door and along the hallway gallery. Lightning strikes outside the windows, allowing me to see the portraits on the wall. Alive is not exactly how the subjects looked when their eerie images were painted.
And now, a carriage will take you into the boundless realm of the supernatural, the ghost host says. I see a small black doom buggy. I hesitate, but board the carriage and then immediately moves forward. There's no turning back now.
We find it delightfully unlivable here in this ghostly retreat, the ghost host says. Every room has wall-to-wall creeps. Shh! Listen. Do you hear that? I hear a muffled, "Let me out of here!"
Hi, hi.
As I pass a coffin. Even the spirits are looking for a way out.
When I turn the corner, I see a floating crystal ball with the face of Madame Leota, the fortune teller inside. Serpents and spiders, tail of a rat, call in spirits whoever they're at, chants Madame Leota. If the spirits are coming here, I want to be somewhere else. I sigh with relief as the buggy keeps moving past the ball and some floating musical instruments.
The carriage drives onto a balcony that overlooks a large ballroom. The happy haunts are beginning to materialize, the ghost host says. I lean over the edge and can't believe my eyes. It's a swinging wake. Ghost guests fly into the room, eat at a full dinner table, and dance to a spirited dirge. It's a lively party for the undead.
The carriage continues, forcing me to leave the incredible scene behind. I glide up into an attic and come face to face with a beautiful ghost bride. But the look in her eyes makes me shrink down in my seat until the carriage moves past her.
Near the bride is another ghost who has a sinister smile on his face. Before my eyes, his head disappears and shows up in the box he's holding. I like my head right where it is, and luckily the doom buggy seems to agree as it carries me out a window.
Now the buggy takes me to the roof. I see tons of spirits flying up, up, and away from the graveyard below. It's quite a sight to behold. The only way out of this attic and far from these creepy ghosts is down, so the buggy floats toward the yard.
Once I land, I see the groundskeeper and his dog staring at the graveyard in disbelief. I can't see what they're looking at, but I guess I'll find out because the doom buggy is taking me through those very gates.
There's another spirited party going on out here with a ghostly band. When they see me, they start singing an upbeat song, and more grinning ghosts and ghouls join in the fun. I'm surprised there are no skeletons playing the trombone.
The buggy rolls past 5 busts surrounded by happy haunts. The statues, called the Phantom Five, are loudly singing the ghosts' group song. They don't need anybody to sing with them. Close your eyes.
As I ride past the strange tea party, the ghosts there call for me to join them. But that path looked like a dead end, so I'm glad when the buggy quickly moves on.
As the spooky song ends, the buggy rolls toward a crypt. I enter it, and the ghost host speaks to me again. "There's a little matter I forgot to mention," he says. "Beware of the hitchhiking ghosts!"
There's a mirror. In it, I see a ghost sitting next to me. They'll hunt you until you return, the ghost host warned me.
No way am I getting haunted. I jump from the buggy and rush outside, but a voice from a small spirit has parting messages for me. "Hurry back, hurry back, make your final arrangements now. We've been dying to have you," she says.
I escaped the mansion into the fading light of day. My friends are cheering for me. I know ghosts aren't real, but I can't shake the feeling that one might follow me home.
The end of the Haunted Mansion. Yes, exactly, Jane. Thank you, thank you. Okay, comma, you had a song you said you wanted to play.
When the crypt doors creak and the tombstones quake, spooks come out for us.
Comma is singing us away. This was our final story for the night. Thank you all so much for joining us at our first event for Pink I Can. We will see you on the 11th for Costume Soccer, so get your outfits ready for then. Highly recommend you join the group so you can stay tuned for all of the cool things and events we have going on here. And thank you to those who were able to donate to the kiosk today for the American Cancer Society. We appreciate you all and your donations and being here with us. See you soon, spooky ghosts and ghouls.
By your side, shrouded in the skies, they pretend to terrorize. Ring ghosts come out to socialize. High the dead oak trees, spooks arrive for the midnight spree. Creepy creeps with eerie eyes start to shriek and harmonize. Grim ghosts come out to socialize. When you hear the knell of a requiem bell, weird ghosts dream where spirits dwell. Restless bones etherealize, lives and spooks of every size.